Hello everyone, my name is Omelo Nadi and I like to be called the children nurturer. So last week I was having a not too fantastic week and I decided that I was going to just crash. I was just going to go to sleep so that I wouldn't slide into any form of depression or slide down into a really not so good place. And so while I was sleeping, I got a call from an acquaintance, a colleague, and this call seemed quite urgent. When this colleague heard that I was sleeping, she opted to return the call the following day. It was at night. I said, no, talk to me, what's the problem? And she said she needed a place to keep her son. She wanted to know if I was open for services, if my crèche was open and my after school care center was open for services so that she could bring her son on her way to work every day and then pick him up at the end of the day. And I said, no, I'm not open, but I felt this urgent, this almost desperate need to help her, to find a solution for her problem, to find a place for that child to be kept. And I told her I was going to get back. She had to call me the following day so that we could find something, how to resolve it. Why did I feel that desperation, near desperation? Because she's a single parent. Single parenting is tough. Let no one convince you otherwise. Single parenting is quite tough. Unfortunately, with every passing day, the percentage of single parents increases, and this is occasioned by different things, maybe death, it could be divorce or separation, or even incompatibility from the onset of the partners or parents of these child or children, and incidentally, the burden of single parenting on a very large scale falls on women more than it does on men. Now, you would sooner find a single mother than you will find a single father. Men tend to wriggle off and move on quicker and more easily than women ever do, or even can, as a matter of course. When you think of the fact that who carries the pregnancy, it's the woman. So the woman is even stuck, quote unquote, stuck with the child for the pregnancy term, while the father can be anywhere he pleases, and so you find more single mothers than you would find single fathers. And yes, there are single fathers, but it's more like this might be an exaggeration, but this is how I see this. It's more like a 50-to-1 ratio. And then there have been stigmas on single parenting, especially on single mothers. Now, stigmas that's only started to ease off less than 5 years ago. And at least in my clime, where I am based in Nigeria, this stigma started to ease off only few years ago. And for single parenting, there are myths, there are facts, there are challenges, there are downturns, there are wins. And I'd like to, what are the myths with single parenting? Now, a lot of people think that children who are raised by single parents are weak and maybe they are sissies, especially children raised by single mothers, that they come out weak because there is no father figure. That is a myth. Some people tend to believe that children who are raised by single parents, single mothers, aren't raised as good as children with both parents. That is a myth. Some also tend to believe that the boys become societal misfits because their mothers are unable to control them. That is a myth. There are several myths that actually go with single parenting. And so what are the facts? The difference between a child or children raised by both parents and children or a child raised by a single parent is in the person, in the parent doing the raising. not in the situation of whether the parent is single or not. That's a fact. Now, there isn't any need to introduce a man into your child's life because of biology's sake. If the man cannot set a good standard for your child, you will do the child more harm than good. That is a fact. Single parents have to make twice as much the sacrifice, twice as much the effort if they hope to have a well-raised child. That is a fact. Single parents raising well-rounded children in the world today are one of the world's superheroes, and that is a fact. Now, what are the challenges with single parenting? It is very tough. Single parenting is very tough. It is just you. You are the one who has to do the domestic runs. You're the one who has to do the school runs. You're the one who has to do the hospital runs. You're the one who has to go out and find ways to pay the bills. It is exhausting. It is exhausting. There is no support. There is no advice. There is no assistance. In several cases, when there is no assistance, when you're the one who has to do everything, you're with this child 24 hours every day, 7 days every week, 4 weeks, 12 months. It is just you. There is no break. It's like it feels as if you're burning candles at both ends. There is no break. There is no leave. There is no transfer. It's just you. That is a huge challenge with single parenting, and it can be excruciatingly exhausting. And that is why you find a situation where single parents might, especially when it's women too, even in some cases fathers, circumstantial single parenting fathers, you find single parents unkept. You find them looking tired and worn out. Sometimes they are angry, they are aggressive because they are not resting. It begins to affect them mentally, it begins to affect them emotionally, physically. All alleys, they are down, burning out. And it takes a whole lot to find yourself in this space and tell yourself that you need to get out of it, and you can get out of it. So what are the wins that you can concentrate on as a single parent? What are things that you can do? Okay, so first of all, do not do it angry. Do not do it angry. You will never succeed. You will find yourself transferring aggression to your child or to the children. You'll find yourself tearing up and tearing up over insignificant things, very little things that you can easily pass over, things that you can easily find solutions to. But because you're angry, every little thing seems like a huge ball of snow to you. Every little thing. So do not do it angry. Number 2, you need to check your priorities. What are your priorities? So you need to pay the bills, you need to put food on the table, but for whom are you going to pay bills and put food on the table for? Make sure that this primary reason is not neglected for the secondary tasks. And then you have to create a balance. How do you create a balance? Make friends with other single parents as well as with regular families so that your child can experience both. All right, it is very necessary. Don't, because you're a single parent, or especially if this happens with women, let all your friends be single parents, and then when you take your children out and you're sitting with all the women, you're talking about, oh, how he's so mean, or how he's not caring, or how he's not even contributing, or how the last time he called. You don't have time for that. You shouldn't really have time for that. I understand this thing. There's nothing like you want to throw when you want to feel good, when you have someone who can listen to you and understand the problems you're going through, because the person is wearing about the same size of shoes and knows where it pinches the most. Yes, but create a balance. Make sure that in your circle of friends there are single parents as well as families that are regular, families that have both parents, so that your child or your children can experience both. Okay, then check your child's emotions to regularly see how he or she is doing. Have conversations with your child always and ensure that your child is doing okay. Make sure your child isn't feeling guilty that he doesn't have both parents. Make sure your child is not feeling ashamed. Make sure your child isn't feeling shy. You need to always check the child's emotions to ensure that the child is doing okay. That is absolutely important. Now, if it is healthy and good for the child, and of course you yourself, the single parent, ensure that the other parent is a part of your child's life. But please do not bend over backwards to achieve this. Everyone should learn to play their part without being prodded. So it isn't your duty to get the other parent to be a part of your child's life. It is that parent's duty to make the effort to be. What is your duty? Ensure that you create a conducive atmosphere so that should this other parent be interested in becoming a part of their child's life, there are no hitches. That is your duty. But it's not your duty to prod the other parents to be a part. Co-parenting is intentional. It is not forced and it is not micromanaged. Now, you have to learn to use friendships. When I say use friendship, what do I mean? Make good friends. Go out of your way to make good friends so that you have a fallback for when you're burning out and you need to rest. And when you make these friends, make sure that your intention isn't to use them all the time. Learn to reciprocate. Let me give you an instance. I have my son during this pandemic. I had a lot. I was feeling burnt out and choked. And so I called a friend and I asked her, she's a doctor. And I called and I asked, please, is it okay for my son to come over to yours for a few days? I really need help. She was like, okay, it's no problem if you're comfortable with that. And she lives quite close. I said, yes, I'm comfortable. She's got 3 children. So I took my son there for a few days. It ended up being a week plus, because he hadn't gone out of the house for a while and he was desperate to mix. He was desperate to go somewhere and be with other human beings. So he didn't want to come back and I wasn't ready to have him back. So I let him be. And so after he had spent a whole lot more than we had intended, it was time for him to come home. And so he came back with his friends. So I sent out 1 child, I got 4 children. So you have to learn to reciprocate. It's very necessary. I got 4 children and I made the best of it. And once you do that, there is that balance. So learn to use friendships and do not die in silence. Reach out. Whenever you need something, find friends that can help you. Reach out. Do not try to be macho about it. You're going to just kill yourself in this single parenting thing. And then learn to create time for yourself. Create time for yourself. Create time for your child. Find things that you love to do, that make you happy, that get you relaxed, and do them so that you can have some measure of sanity. It is very important. And create time for your child. Create time to have fun with your child. Create good memories with your child. Don't let your child see you working hard all the time, angry all the time, desperate. No. Calm down. Create time for your child and never transfer aggression. Do not do it. Always talk to your child about the family, about things going on without burdening your child with a lot of responsibility. And finally, give the child love no matter what. Ensure you give the child love. Let him or her experience the most love in this entire planet from you. Love takes care of a lot. Not indulgence, love. Very considerate, very compassionate, and very strict. Single parenting is tough, but it's very doable, and you can do it. My name is Omelagonadi once again, and I like to be called Children Nurturer. Do have a great day.